Well, a good Tuesday evening to you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Digital Sim Sports Network coverage of the Short Track Showdown series tonight from Lanier Speedway. Catching things as we get ready for our 20-lap inverted. First race. Drivers getting out on to the grid, getting a little late start, a little bit of personal stuff going on around here, so we'll get the drivers out on the track. Get everybody ready to rip and tear, go fast, all the great stuff. But the lineup for tonight's 20-lap sprint race, Nick Baker, the 89 car on the pole, with Wes Whitfield in the 07 on his outside. Peter Brees in the 74, starting inside of row number 2 next to Alan Payne in the 45. You see the 57 of Barry Hines. On that third row on the inside, he'll have the 46 of John Brunner on his outside. Connor Smith, the 83. Row 4 inside with Greg Pileski on his outside in the 17. And then the 21 of Garrett Boyd. We'll be starting row 5. Next to Jesse Thomas in the 10, Brandon Slow, the 24 car, in row number 6. Andrew Perry on his outside. Adam Vinny, the 11. Row 7 inside, Chase Lewis, the 35 on the outside. And then Marvin Turnmeyer in the 16 and Reed Arundel. Those are your two quickest qualifiers for the evening. They will start inverted, and they will have to work their way to the front. Looks like Nick Baker, the 89 car, did not roll out. So we will not see him in the first segment. How they finish here is how they'll start in the 40-lap feature. But it is time to go racing. Green flag in the air. 20-lap sprint race. And we've seen that 74 car many times up at the front when we start one of these things. And a couple of times he's actually ended up there at the end. So Peter Brees leading lap number 1 over Barry Hines. Then Connor Smith in that 83 car working the inside, and he is trying to grab the third spot away from the 45 of Alan Payne. Garrett Boyd also going to work down in there as well and try to take the spot. We're used to seeing this place with dirt on it a lot of times here on the network, but tonight, dirt scraped off pavement. The surface for racing tonight, this pro late model car, the stock car out here, these guys looking pretty good. This is a good battle right here. This is 4th, 5th, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th on back. As you see, Marvin Turnmeyer already 7 spots up from his starting position, and he is battling to try to take 6th. Now going to take 5th away from Connor Smith on the outside. He is trapped behind the 2-wide battle. The 21 of Garrett Boyd, the 11 of Adam Vinny. Quick look up front. Barry Hines has now taken over the top spot, as he passed Peter Brees last time through turns 3 and 4, and now starting to get away from him. Car's really hitting those rev limiters. You can hear them banging off the chip, we call it. Here comes Reed Rundle through the pack, 3 wide. Everybody going to survive. 45 car back there, trying to keep things straight. That's Alan Payne, and he was the meat in the sandwich for 2 or 3 different groups of drivers right there, and he is still in the middle right here. And caution up at the front. A little contact. Not sure who that is that went around. It looks like it's not Nick Baker, and it looks like maybe it's, I don't know who's coming up behind. Oh, it's Greg Pileski. That's who it is. He's a 17 car of Greg Pileski. So we'll try to drop back and get a look at this and see what caused this spin out. Yeah, not showing anything. Looks like he just turned around. Well, we'll go back. We'll just do it manually, the old-fashioned way, since we can't find where the incident actually occurred. Oh, he is up against the fence there. Oh, looks like from behind. He slowed down for what was going on in front, and he gets turned because there was something else going on up in front. That was John Brunner that got turned on. Okay, so yeah, we were on the we were actually on the wrong car to start with. I saw Pileski's car way at the back. So they're going to extend the caution for one more lap for us. We'll get the guys lined up like they need to be. Still 13 laps to go. This is the 20-lap sprint. This is what they do. They come in, they warm up, they qualify, they invert the entire field, sprint 20 laps, and then wherever they finish there is where they start in the feature. So all right, pace truck getting out of the way down here. Turns 3 and 4. Green flag in the air. Oh, right off the bat. Right off the bat. And we're going to go back because these guys are going to get down here on the backstretch, and we're going to watch. Oh, yeah. Looked like maybe a little bit of netcode started it, and then it was just getting hooked by the 74 car of Peter Brees. There was a tiny bit of space in between. And Peter Brees looks like he is going to go into the infield. Left front damage on that 74 car. And he is going all the way around. Yeah, quite a bit, actually. Oh, front end damage on both sides of the front end. Left and right are caved in. Couldn't see that from as far out as we were. But we're going to get to the front here. New leader, Adam Vinny, taking over the point after the front row in the previous restart. And he's got damage on the nose of that 11 car. Center of it's caved in. Hood's pushed up on the right front. So that could create a little bit of drag. And even on the short track, though, that does matter because it can hurt the performance of that right front tire. So Vinny, Lewis, Whitfield, Brunner, Turnmeyer, Perry, Smith, Hines, Slow, and Boyd. So extending the caution one more time because drivers are out of position. Yeah, get a good look down here. We'll try to see if we can find a good way to take a look.
Light you back on the pace car. We're not going green this time. We are not going green.
At that 11 car, the nose of it, you can see right there in the center. Caved in pretty good. Looks like he ran into whoever slowed down right in front of him on that restart. Driver's still having to wait for the pace truck, and maybe now going to get some waiver rounds. Maybe Vinny not the leader. Looks like we're going to have a little discussion about who's going to be where.
All right, man. Light you back on the pace car. We're not going green this time. We are not going green.
And I'm not sure what is going on at the front of this thing. But it looks like the 24 doesn't want the 21 on his outside.
Light you back on the pace car. We're not going green this time.
He tried to squeeze him in the fence, ended up getting turned for his efforts. So the lineup might be off just a little bit. It could be those drivers were a little out of position due to where the pace truck was at. Keep our eyes on the 21-24 because I know the driver in the 21 car, and I know he's usually not happy when guys get the horse playing around out there. So we'll see. Hopefully they'll keep everything civil. But it looks like it is Vinny, Slow, then Lewis and Boyd, then Payne and Rundle in your third row as we're finally getting this thing sorted out where it's supposed to be. Pace truck looks like he's about to drop off. 11 laps remaining. Once again, the pole sitter getting jacked up from behind. Vinny going to hold on to it, and he'll lead this lap, but he's got company on the outside as Slow is up there. And he is working his way lower and lower each lap, right against that yellow line, trying to escape the battle. He wants to put Lewis on the inside right there. Now he clears. Lewis coming with, and here comes the 21 car as he's got his nose up on the inside as well. Reed Rundle tucked in right behind that, and then Alan Payne is tucked in behind Rundle, so Brandon Slow is stuck up on the top side. Laps winding down quickly. We're going to have a battle for the lead. Lewis now with the 35 car gets on the inside of your leader, Adam Vinny, and Chase Lewis trying to get to the point here in the closing lap. 7 to go this time, and if Vinny stays on the top side, he's going to let Garrett Boyd get in there, and he is going to go ahead and relinquish the spot, get in line, and try to hang on to the second spot. Starting on the front row a whole lot better when you get to that 40-lap feature, especially on this little short 3/8 mile track. 6 to go. Here comes Rundle trying to work his way through into the 4th spot. He is locked in step with the 21 of Garrett Boyd, and he clears Brandon Slow. Slow up to the top, opens the door for Alan Payne, and the 24 is stuck on that outside. And he is just falling back. Turnmeyer now got the 16 car up to the inside of the 24. That is going to be for about 8th spot here. Poleski shows him in the lead. He's not. Jesse Thomas is not in the lead either. It is all Chase Lewis. Then Boyd is second. And the battle's for third with 3 to go. Rundle now going to work his way past Adam Vinny and put himself into the 3rd spot. Vinny 4th. Payne is 5th. Coming around, white flag this time, and Chase Lewis out in front of this one. Garrett Boyd, Reed Rundle, your top 3. It's a 20-lap sprint race. Good to go to Chase Lewis, and he'll start on the pole for tonight's 40-lap feature race. Be Garrett Boyd on his outside, then Rundle, Vinny, Payne, Turnmeyer, Breeze, Hines. Slow fell all the way back to the 9th spot. Brunner, Whitfield, Smith, Perry, Poleski, Thomas, and Baker going to round things out. So that's how they're starting in the front. I'm sure you'll see those 2 guys at the front, but they will EOL probably and go to the back. See if we can find out. I only see 1 or 2 of the guys down there. Let's grab Marvin Turnmeyer real quick and talk to him about what we're looking for in tonight's feature. Marvin Turnmeyer, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, that 20-lap sprint got pretty interesting, and I think I'm being a little I'm downplaying that just a little bit, but it looks like you're going to have a pretty good starting spot for this big 40-lap feature tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we were doing pretty good there, and just made an admin mistake. Ended up spinning the 11 there under caution while I was trying to do my admin duties. And luckily he got his spot back, and I just went to the back and tried to come back through. The finishing order's all jumbled up. Things are not what they should be here. Where we got the caution before everybody crossed the finish line, the iRacing scoring is just completely screwed up. But it's one of those things that, sometimes you'll have that, and we'll just have to deal with it and move on. But I think this next 40 laps is going to be pretty exciting, and I tell everybody, get on the edge of their seat. It should be a good show.
Are you going to move that front row to the back while we pace here?
No.
Okay, so Poleski and Thomas will have the front row. All right, man. Well, good luck to you. Hopefully we get a chance to talk to you on the podium at the end of this thing.
Appreciate it. Have a good one.
Marvin Turnmeyer talking to us real quick. Was wondering why he went so far to the back, and then he had to work his way back up. Now we know. So it will be Pileski and Thomas on the front row. Lewis and Rundle in row 2. Boyd and Vinny in row 3. Payne and Turnmeyer going to make up row 4. Then Brees and Hines in the 5th row. Slow and Brunner in row number 6. Whitfield and Smith, row 7. And then Perry and Baker making up the back row. Those guys having problems and falling all the way out of contention for, pretty good sign. Short track, short laps. Every position counts, and it is hard enough to pass here. And we saw that in the sprint race that some of these guys are going to have to really make some moves early, try to keep the car underneath them, not wear the tires out because they only get the one set. So we can see rubber marbles starting to show up all over the top 2 lanes of this thing. All right, we're going to go green this time out of turn number 4. 40 laps on the big board. 16 drivers ready to get at it. I'm not sure I see the 89 car again. I don't know what happened to Nick Baker, but looks like he has fallen out again. So no Nick Baker at all in this one. The green flag is out a little before the zone, but the drivers ready to go. And Pileski and Thomas trying to work it down. So they got it to caution already. Alan Payne and Brandon Slow look like maybe they have gotten into some trouble here, as we'll take a quick peek. Oh, Payne got into Boyd, then he gets bumped from behind when he slowed up, and Slow gets in there. He gets a push in. That was Whitfield that gave him a push, so Alan Payne's car heavily damaged, and it looks like he is going to go straight to the pits and straight to the trailer. So bad luck. Try to get a look and see. He is rolling it in there. I don't know how much of a view we're going to go. Oh, yeah, front end of that car damaged on both the left and the right and in the middle. Looks like the back may have a couple of problems. Yeah, back's not as bad as it looked from a distance. So they're going to pull all of the plastic on the front and try to reform it, get it out. Looks like they did a fairly good job. And he is going to be able to roll right back onto the track. So we'll double him up again. Only a couple of 100 feet got into this one. So we'll see what the boys can do and get things settled down, get a little bit more racing in. That all started with guys just, a little tap on the back end, getting into the corner. The guy checks up that does the tapping, and the guy behind him couldn't see that it was coming, and around we go. Appreciate all the chatter in in the chat tonight, guys. Keep it up. Let us know where you're watching from. You got a favorite driver? But we're back under the green flag, and Chase Lewis moving the 10 car of Jesse Thomas up the hill, trying to get the spot. Wants to get the second. Now he wants to focus his energy on getting to that 17 car. He was the fastest car in that 20-lap sprint. And he is dragging Garrett Boyd and Marvin Turnmeyer on the below line right along with him as Turnmeyer working to the inside of the 10 of Jesse Thomas as well. Here comes Hines in the 57. That may be one of the funniest things I've said with unintention in a long time. Hines 57. Coming through the field. He's 6th right now and still working to the inside of Jesse Thomas. They got Reed Rundle boxed in. The 11 of Adam Vinny now is working his way into the picture. That's going to open up the door and let Rundle fall in behind there. A little smoke from the front. I think somebody maybe got a little out of shape. Had to catch the car. Pileski holding a half-second lead over Chase Lewis, and then Garrett Boyd in 3rd, Marvin Turnmeyer, Hines, Vinny, Rundle, Thomas, Smith, John Brunner having a good run here in 10th. We saw him have problems early in the sprint. 46 car of Alan Payne rolling back onto the racing surface. He's a couple of laps down here. Whitfield is still in the pits, and Nick Baker is MIA, just say the very least. We haven't seen him all night, but his name's been in the lineup the whole time, so I don't know what happened to Nick. Usually the 89 car, very quick. Here comes Turnmeyer. I saw him turn the car hard left coming out of 4. I think Boyd had a slip right there, and he's going to give up a spot. He needs to hurry up and do it and get in line unless he wants to get passed by 4 or 5 more cars. He does exactly that. Turnmeyer up to 3rd, Boyd back to 4th, right in front of Hines. That is a good string of cars right there. They are just nose to tail all over each other. One mistake from any of these guys in the middle, and you could have a pretty good pileup. We hope that doesn't happen. Now Adam Vinny gets the nose on the inside there against the 57 of Hines. Looks like he is going to try to take over the 5th spot. Reed Rundle is tucked tightly in behind him. Contact between Rundle and Hines. Now contact between Rundle and Lewis. Hines way up the hill. Short track race in close quarters. You're going to have some contact. Everybody able to hang on. Ooh, we got one behind that. As John Brenner got down on the flat and really got the car out of shape. And Andrew Perry kind of gave him a little bit of a punt in the butt for it. So going to go back to the front. It is still about a half a second. Lap times almost identical. 14:18, 14:20, 14:14, your top 3. 14 down. Working lap number 15. Still 26 laps to go. And now Lewis looks like he is there.
All right, man. Caution is out.
Caution behind. And Adam Vinny, the 11 car, working on Garrett Boyd here. Down the corner. I don't know. Don't know if there was much in the way of contact. Think he drove it in there pretty deep. And maybe lost a bit of momentum. He might have got a tap. So that's going to give a reprieve, let the tires cool down for Greg Pileski, who was barely hanging on the lead, and he had all kinds of trouble in the form of the 35 of Chase Lewis, tightened right up behind him, and I thought Lewis was looking like he was fixing to go to work, had his sleeves rolled up. And now going to have to relax, take a breath, and get it all planned out to do again. Adam Vinny looks like he is following me. He must have went into the pits or something and come back out. Looks like 74 Peter Brees once again back on pit road. And he is going to roll out. He's going to try to beat the field around out here. Whatever was wrong with that car looks like it's in pretty good shape now. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Okay. All right. Appreciate you being over there on the YouTube. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you're on YouTube and Twitch, make sure you do hit that subscribe button. If you're on Facebook, come by the Dirt Racing Network's Facebook page. Like, share, and follow. Dirt, asphalt. So far, we don't really have a preference of what we're covering. The partnership with DSSN bringing a lot of more asphalt racing to the network. So drivers starting to maybe line up. I don't know what is going on. We're extending the caution one more time.
This time we are not going green.
So looks like Alan Payne is going to end up back on the lead lap here. Or maybe he's only going to get one of his. I'm not sure. It keeps changing. We'll know once we cycle through under green where he's at. Whitfield in the pits. Baker is out. Brees and Vinny at the back until Payne catches up. Green flag back in the air, and Pileski got a great start. He's going to be able to clear Lewis, but Lewis is going to tuck right in there. Little tap, tap here. Little tap, tap there. Here, a tap, there, a tap. Everybody's spinning. And we don't have to go very far to see what happened there. Happened down in the middle of 1 and 2. And We'll get a real good look at it right here. There's a tap. That gets the 17 loose. He's trying to hang on to it. He gets another tap. And then Turnmeyer gets into the back of Lewis, who was all up underneath the back of the 17 car right there. So engine smoke coming out of the 17. And more shaken up going into this field here as the leaders both having problems, and it looks like at least one of them going to the back. Chase Lewis going to the back, and I'm pretty sure the 17 car is going to end up there as well. But Marvin Turnmeyer picking up 7 spots, started 8th. He now has the lead, and he has Garrett Boyd going to be restarting on his outside. And it looks like Reed Rundle and Barry Hines in behind that. Jesse Thomas and Andrew Perry behind that. Brandon Slow and Adam Vinny, as Vinny's starting to already make a recovery from an earlier spin. He is back inside the top 10 in 8th. Peter Brees and John Brunner, 9 and 10. Then Connor Smith, Chase Lewis. That's 11-12. Alan Payne and Greg Pileski rounded out what is going to be on the track, I think. And I think Pileski's coming back. I'm not sure. He may not be. That engine may have been so hurt he couldn't come back. Waukesha. Bunch of Wisconsin folk in here tonight. Very nice. You know, our own tiny dancer,
Right,
Scott
man.
King,
Like to back on the pace
is
car. We're not
a
going green this time. We are
Wisconsinite.
not going green.
Surprised he isn't in here saying something in the chat already. So we'll extend this thing with about 24 laps remaining. Our third caution. About 15 laps in. Looks like they are going to wave Alan Payne around, and he will be back on the lead lap now when we get this restart. Pileski is out. Whitfield is out. Baker no longer on the track. So 13 cars remaining for the last 24 laps of this one.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag back in the air. Turnmeyer, good start. That's going to open the gates, and that is going to put Boyd straight down in front of Rundle. 1, 2, 3. Hines working the high side on Rundle. I don't know if that's going to work out. High side really hasn't come in yet tonight. And Thomas is going to use that open door, force his way in there, try to take 4th away. And caution again. In behind is Connor Smith in this one. Connor Smith there in the green car, the 83 machine. In the corner, looks like pretty good. Chase Lewis down the bottom. No contact between Brunner and Smith, and then Chase Lewis really didn't have much choice. He's got in the back of him just because the momentum was all lost. So short track racing, and there's going to be contact. It's unfortunate, but it is inevitable. And drivers just have got to be mindful of it, be ready for it. We've seen a couple of guys save the car, and then we've seen a couple of guys behind them that didn't have time to react, that even though the car was saved, went ahead and cleaned them on out. So you've got to be on your toes at all times when you short track race. Good one for this one. These guys have been putting on good shows. Sister series to the MARS tour on Sundays, and been a real good one to have on Tuesday night. It's been a lot of fun to watch these guys. Good to have the pavement back to cover for sure. I don't believe we have anything else for the rest of the week We might check in on the Mighty Midget Series on Thursday night, see if they are running and see if they have a pretty good car count. We may get a little live action on Thursday. This coming weekend, the big holiday weekend, there will be no live racing on DSSN or DRN. We'll start getting things back in order after the holiday and run through until probably the end of the summer with some pretty regular stuff here. So back to it. 22 laps remaining. Turnmeyer and Boyd trying to go at it, and Rundle already got the car up alongside for second. Boyd could not get into the gap. And Reed Rundle now trying to work his way to the top two. He's keeping the door open for Hines and for Thomas back there. Now clears, and Boyd should be able to get that 21 machine down to the inside. Couldn't quite get it there that time. Wreck behind. And I think Adam Vinny might have been in this one. He's going to get down here. He's got some help. Yeah, 74 car and the 35 car both. 74 car got him started turning left, and then the 35 car straightened him back out. So little rough around the edges right now. And for all the Vinny fans, I think that car is going to have to remain injured for the rest of this one because the reset's already been used on it. Right front is caved down just a little. Maybe that'll make some more downforce, and he'll be able to put that right front to a little bit more use. Who knows? It may heat it up too much, and he may lose all of his grip on the front end. So halfway in the 40-lap feature tonight, and we're working caution number 5 right here. All right, everybody's tightened up. Lights are off on the pace truck, ready to get back to it. 20 circuits remaining. Marvin Turnmeyer, Reed Rundle in the front row this time. And Garrett Boyd not going to be able to get there, I don't think. It looks like Rundle's going to have clear run to get down. He'll go to second. Boyd is third. Boyd a little hot getting into 3 and 4. Had to drift up the track. Barry Hines. Well, let's go see. I got a feeling the 33 car is involved in this one. 35 to his outside, 24 in front, 57 in front of that as well. Into the corner. Yeah, he's going to get a pretty good bump. He's going to get whacked by Brunner right there on the left rear. Chase Lewis back here again. There's Andrew Perry's car. Left rear caved in just a little. Looks like everything else pretty square, so maybe not a big issue for him. Wes Whitfield back on the track. 14 laps down. Whatever was smoking on that car, they got it fixed. Poleski is still out, so only one official retiree. Might see the lights go off on the pace truck right here. We do. So they'll double them back up. We'll get ready to go right back to green with 18 laps. All right, he's fourth right now there, Devil. We'll see. See what he can do. Pace truck getting out of the way. Turnmeyer wasting no time. He's on the throttle, and away he goes. And Rundle trying to get back to second. Get down in front of Boyd. Here comes Slow, as Brandon Slow now working down into 3 and 4. Right behind the 21-24 car. Almost got in that left rear corner, and he did get Boyd a little free on that exit. Gets a little help. 10 car going around.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
10 car went right around right there. Jesse Thomas. Let's go back real quick and take a look. And I think we're going to have a good look at this. Now down the corner, he got up against the 24, backed up a little bit. Hines had nowhere to go, got in the back of him, and then that starts a big chain reaction. So we'll have to see how much damage is on that 10 car. He is on pit road right now. I think the left front is all that's really in bad shape. That left rear don't mean a whole lot, but that left front can cause him some issues. Pushed in and back like that, so. We'll get back to it here. Still Turnmeyer, Rundle, Boyd, Slow, and Payne are the top 5. Smith now with a good recovery. He was in a spin earlier, not that many laps ago. He is all the way back up to 6th. Then Vinny is 7th, Brees 8th, Hines 9th, and Lewis still in this thing in 10th. And that 35 car has just taken a beating all night long. Maybe one caution that he hasn't had contact with something in trying to avoid something, or and Thomas will be back out in 11th. Perry, Brunner, Pileski, Whitfield. Whitfield is out here. He's a bunch of laps down, so he'll be at the very back. They're going to get them tight, get them doubled up. We're going to go back to green. 16 laps still to go.
Green, green, green.
Green flag back in the air. Good start for your leader. Good start for Reed Rundle in second. Garrett Boyd now clears the 24. Brandon Slow into third. Top 5 all single file. It's back here at Vinny and Smith. They were side by side for a second. Now Vinny takes the spot away. They're going to get single file behind that as Smith drops to the inside in front of Brees. Chase Lewis out of shape, had to really get on the binders because everything in front of him slowed down. He caught up to it pretty quick, and he almost lost the back end off the right rear of that 35. He was moving it left and right to try to keep it straight. Now battle for third. Boyd got up the hill. Slow got the nose down to the inside, and I think it's just a matter of time before the 24 clears at 21. And there you have it. Brandon Slow up to the third spot. We'll see now if he can bring that 24 car to the front and catch these two leaders. If we don't have any more cautions, he's got his work cut out for him. That is a pretty good gap, about 0.4 of a second. There are two leaders. I think one is just sizing the other up, and the other one is just trying to make sure he gets the car in straight and off straight in the corner. And Rundle is trying to get the flat on the inside down there, that transition, to help rotate that 43 car so he can get some good bite on exit, maybe stick that nose down the left rear corner panel. And right now just not able to do anything, and the gap closing quickly here. That 24 car, he is coming late as we've crossed under the 10 to go mark. Lap times up front, identical. Car behind them, well, he's right on pace, just a tick slower. As Rundle took a peek to the inside. That time, Turnmeyer drove a little stronger through 1 and 2. Came off with a better angle and opened the gap up by about a half a car. 7 laps to go that time. Rundle trying to show that nose, trying to get in there and make Turnmeyer go up the hill. And Turnmeyer is not afraid to oblige that as he's getting good runs on the exits here by doing so. And now Rundle's got the nose there. Can Turnmeyer shut the door? I don't think he can. Rundle right to him and right beside half a car. Just needs to get clear before the checkered flag. 5 to go and a little slip out of the 43 there coming up off the bottom. Ever so slightly inching closer and closer to clearing that 16 car. Reed Rundle leads with 4 to go. Brandon Slow right in there. Now Rundle clear of the 16. The battles for second and third. 24 of Slow on the inside. 16 of Turnmeyer up top. 3 to go. Laps trickling off. Can Rundle hang on as Slow now has cleared the 16 and the 21 is there. 2 to go. Rundle has company coming. Brandon Slow now really trying to stretch the legs on the 24, and I just think he's out of time here as the battle for third heats up. Boyd with a big slip, and that's going to open the door and let Turnmeyer have it back on the white flag lap. Can Boyd get back to it? Rundle's going to win it. Brandon Slow's going to finish second. Who's going to be third? Boyd by 1/100th of a second. Great race for the podium. Vinny to 5th, and Chase Lewis recovers to 6th. Great racing there for the podium spot. As Boyd just steals it at the end. We'll wait for our drivers to show up quickly. Let's look at how they did finish. Rundle, Slow, Boyd, then Turnmeyer 4th, not by much. Vinny, Lewis, Thomas, Perry, Brees, Smith, Hines, Payne, Brunner, Whitfield, Poleski, and Baker in that order. As Nick Baker obviously not taking the green flag 40 laps down. So he's in here now. Let me, yep, he's good. He's good to go. Let me check his levels. And as you guys can see there on the screen, a face for radio. 21 car once again on the podium. Garrett Boyd, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, looked like you had a heck of a battle there at the end just to get back on the podium.
Yeah, it's kind of probably used my stuff up a little too early and just trying to come back with what I had left there at the end.
Yeah, it looked like this thing was pretty tricky. A lot of guys were trying to get down on the flat and maybe help rotate the car. But short little track, kind of warm out. You got to try to save that right front. And I just, it looked like the cars were all pretty tight to me. That's pretty tough to do unless you're down there trying to help the car rotate on the flat.
Yeah, they were pretty tight on exit. You could overdrive it and kind of lay on the right rear if you wanted to. But it just get too hot, and then you'd be way too loose. So you just kind of had to play that balance.
Yeah, and it looked like we were having kind of a rash of caution. We get a start, we get a yellow. Rhythm is kind of a key on a little short track like this, and it was hard to find your rhythm with all those cautions popping in and out, wasn't it?
Yeah, I struggle with the short track rhythm. It's something I really got to work on. Yeah, it's just hard when it's caution after caution. You feel like, all right, a couple more laps and I'll be good, and then the caution comes out and you start all over again.
Well, an awesome run. You're up on the podium once again with this series. Give us some shout-outs, some thank yous, and we'll let you celebrate a great run tonight, buddy.
I got to thank Grand Garage, Dark Horse Racing Shocks, 43 Institute, and then Marvin and Reed and you guys for putting this on.
All right, man. Thanks for chatting with us, and we'll look forward to seeing you back in a couple of weeks after the holiday.
All right, thank you.
Garrett Boyd finishing in that second spot or in the third spot tonight, excuse me. Second place, Brandon Slow, not in the chat yet. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to get creative. We're going to show you his car real quick, and then we're going to jump right around him, and hopefully he'll join the chat before we come back. But we'll get down here, and we will talk to this guy. He worked a long time. Took him forever to get there. It looked like he was really patient, saved his stuff. But the 43 car, Reed Rundle, coming home tonight on the top step of the podium. Reed, tell us about that feature run and how you got the lead there late.
Yeah, just being patient. Had to work my way through a little bit of stuff going on, and fell back a little early being on the outside to kind of get freight train on the inside. And then, like I said, just pick my spots and try to make the moves when you can. Marv was pushing hard, and he just gave me enough room to get the nose down in there. And once I got it down in there, and this time I was able to stick.
Yeah, it looked like, it took a couple, 3 or 4 laps for that to happen, and he was trying to keep you where you didn't have a great exit line. We saw you get loose a couple of times. How patient you got to be, especially that late in the race on that old of tires, to make sure you keep it out of the left-hand door of the 16 car.
Well, our standing joke is the old man, so we'll call that the old man patience. I would have taken a second. I was digging as hard as I can, and until you can see it, you don't take it unless you can make sure you're going to take it. And I have a feeling that's why there was a lot of yellows again tonight, is people just not being patient. It's pretty simple.
Well, an awesome run nonetheless. 43 car really starting to show out here with this pavement late model car. You must really like the way this thing races.
I do. Learned a couple things in this last week. In fact, talked with Marv about some stuff with, the minor adjustments we can do, and it may have helped a little bit tonight. Maybe it was just lucky. I've always liked linear. The shorter the track, the more I seem to like it. So, like I said, we'll take it.
All right, man, give us some shout-outs and thank you before we let you go celebrate a big win tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Little Caesar Pizza, Solo Stove. Now I'm going to be all flustered here. Buddy's Racing Equipment, my normal things as far as Wabam and Scrub It Up for helping us out on our other series. You guys for putting in a hell of a broadcast. Shout out to my dad. He came home from the hospital today, so maybe that's what gave us a little bit of luck. And, of course, my wife, too, for letting me have some fun out here on a few nights a week. But thanks for your broadcast, too. You guys do a great job and always appreciate it.
Now, you're still flustered from all the admin work in the Dirt series last week, right?
yeah, that's a whole nother story. But, hey, we're doing all right. We're doing all right.
Well, we'll let you get by with that one. Don't worry, I have messed up quite a few interviews from this side of the thing. So if a driver does it, I completely understand, man. Thanks for chatting with us, and we'll look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks back here after the holiday.
Yeah, thanks, Roger. You have a good one. Talk to you soon.
Reed Rundle picking up the win, and I really want to talk to Brandon, and I can't get him into the chat. I don't know. I know he had been in here before. I'd really like to talk to our second place driver because he had a heck of a night tonight. He picks up 9 spots. He's definitely the hard charger this evening, and he had to do that a couple of times. So I'd really wanted to get a good chat in with him, but it doesn't look like he's going to make it into our Discord channel to have a solid interview here. I can't do on-track interviews because it's just too hard to get the sound levels correct when we're doing that, especially when we got engines running and everything else around, all the track ambient sounds. So I just don't do the on-track interviews. But he had a great night tonight. Really wish we had a chance to talk to him. So hopefully we'll get that ironed out before we get back to the next one. Everybody can be in here so they can have their interviews. But I'm sure that he would talk about how many times he had to come through the field and that he probably passed the most cars of anybody tonight, hands down. So an awesome run nonetheless for that 24 machine, and we congratulate him on doing so. We have been through our official results for the evening. That is going to do it for us tonight, guys. It's going to be a couple of weeks. We'll be back on Tuesday. No, I think we'll be back on Sunday. Let me think about that. 4th, 11th. Sunday the 9th for the MARS series. If we don't cover this Thursday's Mighty Midget series, and we'll have to find out if they're on a bye week or what. But it may be a little while before we're back live. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button on Twitch and YouTube, and come over to the Facebook page, like, share, and follow. You'll know every time we do go live. A lot's starting to kick off. Going to add a day or two here during the summer. Still going to do our every other week stuff with all these guys. We're going to try to fill in those off weeks with some other stuff, just so that we can expand the brand a little bit. Look for DSRL to come back. PRO has got some events coming up. I know Netcode is working on getting back full time. So a lot going on. But we appreciate you guys being here. Without you, there's no reason to cover this stuff. Without all the great leagues giving us great racing to cover, there's nothing for us to cover for you. So we appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure you tune in again when we go live. Until we see you the next time, keep the rough side down. Love everybody.